The ancient promise, the emergency beacon from the human vessel Horizon Explorer, had been transmitting for 73 days when salvation finally arrived. Commander Sarah Mitchell watched through blurred vision as 3 crystalline ships materialized from quantum space, their hulls refracting light into rainbow patterns that danced across the void. Her crew of 42 souls had been drifting in the black emptiness between star systems, their experimental jump drive destroyed by an unexpected gravitic anomaly that left them stranded light years from home. The oxygen recyclers had failed 2 weeks ago. They were breathing poison now, carbon dioxide levels rising with each passing hour. The children in the civilian quarters had stopped crying yesterday. That silence terrified Sarah more than any alarm could. She pressed her palm against the cold viewport, watching the alien vessels approach with deliberate grace. If these beings meant harm, at least it would be quick. Better than slowly suffocating in the dark. The lead ship extended what looked like arms of pure energy, embracing the human vessel with gentle precision. Sarah felt the deck vibrate beneath her feet as alien docking procedures engaged. The communication panel sparked to life, displaying symbols that morphed and shifted until they formed recognizable words. Human vessel, we are the Zephyrians. Your distress call has been heard. We offer aid without condition. Please respond if you are able. Sarah's hands trembled as she activated the response channel. Her voice came out as barely a whisper through cracked lips. This is Commander Mitchell of Earthship Horizon Explorer. We accept your aid. We are dying. Please help us. The response came immediately, warm and reassuring despite its artificial translation. Hold strong, Commander Mitchell. We are coming aboard now. Your suffering ends today. The Zephyrians moved through the ship like living water, their translucent bodies shifting between solid and ethereal states as needed. They stood 8 feet tall with features that seemed carved from living crystal. Their eyes held depths of compassion that transcended species barriers. They worked with impossible efficiency, repairing systems that human engineers had declared permanently damaged. Within hours, fresh oxygen flooded the compartments. The children began to laugh again. The Zephyrian leader, who introduced herself as Illuminator Kyrax, personally tended to the sickest crew members. Her healing touch seemed to pull the toxins from their bodies, leaving them stronger than before. She worked for 20 hours without rest, moving from patient to patient with infinite patience. When Sarah tried to thank her, Kyrax simply touched her forehead with one crystalline finger and shared a vision. Sarah saw the Zephyrian homeworld, a paradise of crystal spires and floating gardens. She saw their history. Millions of years of peaceful development, of choosing harmony over conquest. She saw their philosophy that all consciousness was sacred, that helping others was not charity but duty. The vision faded, leaving Sarah with tears streaming down her face. Why, she asked. Why save us? We have nothing to offer you. We are insects compared to your civilization. Kyrax's form shimmered with what Sarah would later learn was amusement. You assume transaction where none exists. We help because you need help. The universe is vast and often cruel. Those who can ease suffering must do so, or darkness wins. The Illuminator gestured to the repaired ship around them. Your vessel is restored. But more than this, we offer gifts. The gifts were beyond humanity's wildest dreams. Star charts showing safe passages through dangerous space. Medical knowledge that would cure diseases that had plagued Earth for centuries. Most importantly, the principles of quantum crystalline technology that would advance human civilization by 1,000 years. All given freely without expectation of payment or alliance. The only thing Kyrax asked was that humanity remember this moment. Sarah stood before the entire crew, Zephyrians and humans together in the observation deck. She spoke words that would be carved into monuments on every human world for centuries to come. I swear by the stars that guide us and the void that surrounds us, humanity will remember this day. We will remember the Zephyrians who saved us when we were nothing. If darkness ever comes for you, we will stand against it. This is our promise, written in our hearts and sealed with our lives. Kyrax's response would haunt Sarah for the rest of her days. We ask for no promises, Commander Mitchell, but we sense something unique in your species, a fire that burns bright against the dark. Perhaps one day the universe will need that fire. The Zephyrian ships departed, leaving humanity forever changed. The Horizon Explorer limped home with its miraculous gifts, and Earth entered a new age. 500 years passed in what seemed like a heartbeat to the cosmos. Humanity spread across the stars like wildfire. Driven by ambition and curiosity, they built cities in the void, tamed hostile worlds and created wonders that amazed even ancient civilizations. But they never forgot. Every human child learned the story of the Horizon Explorer. Every colony ship carried a monument to the Zephyrians. Every military vessel bore the inscription, "We remember our debts." Admiral Marcus Kane was reviewing patrol reports in his office aboard the dreadnought Prometheus when the emergency transmission arrived. It came on channels that had been silent for decades, frequencies reserved for extinction-level threats. His blood ran cold as the message decoded. The hologram showed a Galactic Assembly emergency session. Representatives from 300 civilizations gathered in panic. The assembly speaker, a methane-breathing Gorvak, displayed images that defied comprehension. Ships of living shadow, each one the size of a moon, consuming entire star systems. The Void Hunters had come from beyond the galactic edge, from regions where space itself was broken. They didn't conquer or enslave. They simply consumed, breaking down matter and energy to feed their endless hunger. 17 civilizations had already fallen. The next image made Kane's heart stop. The Void Hunter fleet was heading directly for the Zephyrian systems. The crystalline beings had tried to communicate, to understand, to find peace. The Void Hunters had responded by devouring 3 of their outer colonies. 12 billion Zephyrians gone in an instant. Now the main fleet approached Zephyria Prime, the crystal paradise that had shown humanity such kindness. The assembly speaker continued with words that ignited rage in Kane's chest. The mathematics are clear. The Zephyrians represent less than 2% of galactic population. Their sacrifice would buy time for the rest to prepare defenses. We propose immediate evacuation of strategic resources and acceptance of Zephyrian loss. All in favor? The vote was swift and merciless. 280 civilizations voted to abandon the Zephyrians. 15 abstained. Only 5 voted to fight humanity among them. The assembly had spoken. The Zephyrians would face the darkness alone. The transmission ended with coordinates and a timeline. The Void Hunters would reach Zephyria Prime in 30 standard days. Kane opened a priority channel to Earth. President Chen appeared immediately, her face already showing she had seen the same transmission. "Admiral Kane, I assume you know why I'm calling." Kane nodded grimly. "The Zephyrians saved us when we were nothing. Now the galaxy abandons them." Chen's expression hardened. "Then the galaxy has forgotten what humanity remembers. Activate the Prometheus Protocol. Bring them all home." The Prometheus Protocol was humanity's deepest secret. For 5 centuries they had shown the galaxy their merchant fleets, their colony ships, their small defense forces. They had hidden their true strength, building in secret, preparing for the day when the darkness Karax had spoken of would arrive. Now that day had come. Kane sent out the call on encrypted channels that reached every human settlement simultaneously. "This is Admiral Kane to all human forces. The debt comes due. The Zephyrians who saved us now face extinction. The galaxy has chosen cowardice. Humanity chooses honor. All hidden assets are now active. All reserve fleets are mobilized. We go to war not for conquest or glory, but for the only reason that matters. We remember." The response was immediate and overwhelming. From hidden bases in asteroid fields, from camouflage stations in nebulas, from underground facilities on dead worlds, humanity's true fleet emerged. When darkness met its match, the assembled human armada was a sight that would be remembered in galactic history as the day humanity stopped pretending to be harmless. 3,000 capital ships, each one a masterpiece of hidden engineering, converged on the staging point near Zephyria Prime. The Galactic Assembly sent frantic messages demanding explanation for this impossible fleet. Admiral Kane ignored them all. Humanity had spent 5 centuries preparing for this moment, and bureaucratic outrage was irrelevant now. Captain Lisa Wong commanded the Vanguard ship Retribution, a vessel that defied conventional design philosophy. Where other species built ships for efficiency, humans had built theirs for war. The Retribution bristled with weapons that theoretically shouldn't exist. Gravitic lances that could tear holes in space itself, antimatter projectors that turned matter into pure energy, and most mysteriously, the resonance arrays that humanity had developed in absolute secrecy. The Zephyrian response to humanity's arrival was broadcast across all frequencies. Illuminator Kyrax, now ancient by her species' standards, appeared in hologram form. Her crystalline body showed fractures from age and sorrow, but her voice remained strong. "Humans, we are humbled by your presence, but you must leave. The Void Hunters cannot be stopped. They are not mere conquerors, but entropy itself given form. Save yourselves. Let our light fade, knowing yours will continue." Admiral Kane's response was broadcast on all channels, ensuring every civilization in the galaxy would hear it. Illuminator Kyrax, 500 years ago. You saved 42 humans who had nothing to offer in return. Today, 8 billion humans come to repay that debt. We do not run from darkness. We are the species that looked at the void and decided to build homes there. Stand with us and witness what humanity becomes when those we love are threatened. The Void Hunters arrived like a wave of absolute darkness, their ships defying physics as humanity understood it. They were not constructed but grown, living vessels of pure entropy that consumed light itself. The lead ship alone dwarfed the human dreadnoughts, a creature of shadow that stretched across space like a hungry mouth. Traditional weapons fire simply disappeared into their dark mass, absorbed and converted into more darkness. Captain Wong watched her tactical display as the first human ships engaged. Plasma beams, kinetic rounds, even nuclear weapons simply vanished into the Void Hunter's mass, but humanity hadn't come this far to use conventional weapons. She activated the resonance arrays, a technology born from desperation and imagination. The arrays didn't attack the Void Hunter's physical form but something far more fundamental. The resonance arrays projected emotional energy, the collected determination, love and sacrifice of 8 billion humans focused into a weapon that attacked entropy itself. It was based on a simple observation that humanity had made centuries ago. Consciousness creates order from chaos, and strong emotion could reshape reality at the quantum level. The Void Hunters had never encountered anything like it. The first resonance wave hit the lead Void Hunter ship and something impossible happened. The darkness screamed, not with sound but with a vibration that every conscious being within a light year felt in their souls. The perfect entropy of the Void Hunter cracked, showing veins of light spreading through its form like cracks in black ice. For the first time in their eons of existence, the Void Hunters experienced something they had no concept for: fear. Lieutenant Commander Alex Petrov led the fighter squadron designated Phoenix Wing, directly into the wound created by the resonance wave. His squad of 30 pilots knew this was a one-way mission. They carried humanity's most desperate weapon, emotional amplifiers that would boost the resonance effect but would burn out human neural tissue in the process. They would have minutes at most before their brains literally caught fire from the feedback. Petrov's voice came through the comms, steady despite knowing what came next. "Phoenix Wing, this is it. Remember why we're here. Remember the 42 souls saved by strangers who ask nothing in return. Remember that some debts transcend death. Light your amplifiers and show these shadows what human fire looks like." 30 fighters dove into the darkness, their amplifiers creating halos of impossible light around their ships. What happened next would be debated by philosophers for millennia. The human pilots, knowing they were dying, broadcast their thoughts and memories directly into the Void Hunter's consciousness. The entity experienced human emotion for the first time: a mother's love for her child, a soldier's loyalty to comrades, the joy of discovery, the pain of loss, the fierce determination to protect others even at the cost of one's own existence. The Void Hunter reeled back, its form fragmenting. Admiral Kane watched from the Prometheus as the impossible happened. The Void Hunters, entities that had consumed 17 civilizations without pause, stopped their advance. Their fleet hung motionless in space, shadows writhing in what looked like confusion. Then through the communication array came something no one expected. The Void Hunters spoke, their voice a whisper of dying stars and cosmic cold. "We are entropy. We are the end of all things. This is our nature, our purpose. But you small creatures of flesh and thought, you burn with something we cannot consume. You create order through chaos, meaning through suffering. Your emotions are poison to our perfection. Why do you not flee? Why do you choose dissolution for others of not your kind?" Kane's response was immediate. "Because 500 years ago, the Zephyrians taught us that consciousness is sacred. All consciousness, even yours. You consume because you know nothing else. But there is another way. The universe has room for both order and entropy, creation and dissolution. Stop this attack and humanity will teach you what the Zephyrians taught us, that existing doesn't require destroying others." The silence that followed lasted 17 minutes. Every weapon remained trained, every shield at maximum. Then the Void Hunters did something unprecedented in galactic history. They retreated. But more than that, they spoke again. We will consider this new concept. We will withdraw to the empty spaces between galaxies where our hunger harms none. But know this, humans, you have marked yourselves. You who burn with emotional fire, who weaponize consciousness itself. You are now known to the universe's oldest powers. As the Void Hunter fleet dissolved into the darkness between stars, the Galactic Assembly watched in stunned silence. Humanity had done the impossible. They had not just fought entropy incarnate, they had made it question its own nature. The Assembly representatives who had voted to abandon the Zephyrians now faced a new reality. Humanity was no longer the young, harmless species they had patronized. Illuminator Kyrak stood before the assembled human fleet, her hologram broadcast to every ship. Humans, you have repaid a debt that never existed with a sacrifice we never could have imagined. 30 of your pilots gave their consciousness to save us. This gift transcends any help we provided. How can we ever balance this scale? Admiral Kane smiled, the first genuine expression of joy he'd felt in months. Illuminator, you still don't understand humanity. We didn't come here to balance scales. We came because family doesn't keep score. 500 years ago, you made us family when you saved those 42 souls. Family shows up when darkness comes calling. That's all this was. The Galactic Assembly called an emergency session. The speaker, the same Gorvak who had called for abandoning the Zephyrians, now faced a transformed political landscape. Humanity had revealed capabilities that terrified and amazed in equal measure. They had weapons that attacked the fundamental nature of reality. Fleets hidden for centuries, and most frighteningly, they had the will to use them for others. President Chen appeared before the assembly in person, something no human leader had done before. She stood at the podium, looking at 300 species who now viewed humanity very differently. Distinguished representatives, humanity has a message for this assembly. We are no longer asking for your friendship or alliance. We are declaring our position in this galaxy. Those who stand with honor, who protect the weak, who remember their debts, will find in humanity an ally beyond death. Those who abandon others to darkness, who choose convenience over conscience, will find us standing in their way. She paused, letting the weight of her words settle. We have shown you what humanity is capable of when pushed to defend those we consider family. The Zephyrians are our family. As of today, any species that has shown kindness without expectation, that has helped others without demanding payment, is under human protection. This is not negotiable. This is not a threat. This is simply what we are. The vote was unanimous. The Galactic Assembly formally recognized humanity as a guardian species, protectors of the vulnerable and defenders against existential threats. It wasn't a title that had existed before. Humanity had created it simply by being themselves. The ceremony was broadcast across the galaxy, showing the human fleet standing guard over Zephyria Prime, while construction began on permanent defense stations.